Okay, just sorting out the live stream, so bear with me. Okay, I think that's done. So, we are in the Cessna 182 today. We are going to go and explore across the San Juan Islands and Orcas Island and what's it called, Fidalgo Island, where Anacortes is, and then we're going to head off east across the Cascades, and then we're going to turn north and head up past Kelowna and off into the hills and end up at Golden in Canada. So it's going to be a long trip. Should be good fun. So we're going to go and put all the fuel we can fit into the aeroplane, because we're going to need it. We're going to get rid of our co-pilot, because we're not going to need a co-pilot. And more importantly today, we're going to be trying out the TDS GTNXi in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, shall we try and start this airplane up somewhat realistically? So, parking brake is on. Select the fuel tanks as required, and we've got both, which is good. Cowl flaps to open. That's on the right hand side. They are open. That's good. Beacon goes to up before we even put the power on. And carb heat goes to in, and it is. Mixture to rich. Propeller goes to max RPM forward. Throttle half an inch in. And then prime as required. So we can. I'm just going to switch the sound over so it's inside my headset, so I can actually hear the simulator properly. Should we try that again? That's better. Which add-on aircraft is this? This is the Cessna 182RG from Coronado, available in the marketplace in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, where are we on the checklist? Primed it a few times, that's all good. So, battery goes to on or up, alternator goes to on or up. If the outside air temperature is less than 10 degrees, then we have to put the auxiliary fuel pump on for 3 seconds and then off. We'll try it anyway, just to see. It is pretty cold outside. And magnetos. Turn the key to start and hold it there. Now, what have we got on the RPM? Just under 1,000, so we'll lift that up to 1,000. So mixture can come back to lean for the moment. Okay, so Avionics Master can come on now, and we're going to get the magic new TDS GTNXi. So it's showing that it's got Navigraph integration now, which is the big selling point, and I'm sure everybody's already seen this with other people talking about it. It's completely transformed this. This is as good as the real thing now. Well, it is the real thing, but it has Navigraph integration. Okay. So, shall we go and, while the engine's warming up.
System test OK.
That's very loud. I think you can change the volume of it. We'll have a look at that a bit later. So, Friday Harbour, we're taking off from. We're going to go then to Orcas, which is KORS. This is very quick and easy to add waypoints in. There we go, look. And then on to Anacortes, 74S. And then on to Skagit Regional KBVS. And Then concrete municipal 3W5. Then Metho Valley State S52. Okanogan Region S35. Tonasket Municipal W01. Dorothy Scott 0S7. Oliver CAU3. Then Penticton CYYF. Then Vernon CYVK. Then Salmon Arm CZAM. This is a lot quicker, isn't it? Even the lookups are fast. Ross Creek CRC3. Revelstoke CYRV. RV into, and finally into Golden CYGE. Okay, we're not going to put altitudes in because we'll be hand flying some of it and just using it as a map reference. So this is the TDS GTNXi, and you can see it's a world different than other things we'll have seen. Right, got the basics in. We'll have a play with it while we're en route, looking at some of the modes. We have done that. We've checked. We didn't actually monitor any pressures or anything, did we? But it's a Carenado aeroplane, so it's not really too much to do there. So we need to go put the transponder to standby. We've done the GPS. We are not really going to be doing much with the COM or nav radios. That's COM2, nav2, that's COM1 and nav1. Because we'll be using GPS on the CDI all the way. Okay, that's that done. So we calibrate the altimeter, see that happening. So we're essentially ready to taxi, so we can go and put the taxi light on. We can calibrate the gyro compass, and we can test the brakes. Brakes are working. Nose wheel steering's working. Head tracking on. Where is the outside air temperature on this thing? There's the suction and the fuel pressure. Is it over the co-pilot side somewhere? Is that it up there? Yeah. So it's about 10 degrees. It's right on the borderline of needing pitot heat or not. Okay. We'll leave it off for the moment. So let's have a look at the wind. Can we see a windsock anywhere? We can always cheat, I guess, and go and have a look at LittleNavMap. So if we hover over, we've got wind variable 3 knots. There's no wind really to speak of, so we'll just take off straight out. Okay, so before we go anywhere, we'll pull out over to the edge of the parking area over here and do an engine run-up test. So what we want to do is put the mixture to fully rich. And then put the pump on. And we should see that increase in fuel pressure, which we saw, and drop it back off again. That's all good. Throttle for 1700 RPM. Okay, then we're going to turn off one bank of magnetos, see how much it drops. So we're watching, it's dropped about 90. It's the other bank of magnetos and it's still staying steady, about dropped 90. And then I can't get the mouse to go on the key anymore. Put it back to both and it comes back to 1700. And that's good. So then we do a low RPM check. So observe the RPM drop. Pull the revs back to 1000 as well. Okay. So, carburetor heat check. I'm not sure it does an awful lot of difference in this aeroplane, to be honest. So you should see, yeah, you can see the effect on the RPM there, which is good. Okay, shall we go and get on with this then? Hold it on the parking brake for a moment, so put the transponder to alt, nav lights on, landing lights on. I am going to go for pitot heat because once we take off it's going to get colder probably, so we're up. Hurrah.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't
It's
sink.
interesting. Okay. How are we doing for power? Gonna have to stay fairly low, aren't we, to avoid this cloud? Although we're going to double back and probably go around it. to be honest. We'll see. I know there's been some pretty horrific weather in Canada recently. I've got some friends in Canada and they've been reporting all kinds of horrible rainstorms and look how much more accurate this is. So, if I go and put the autopilot on, then we won't have to concentrate quite so much on the aeroplane for a few moments. Let's put on altitude hold, and we'll climb out to, say, 2,000 feet, which we're nearly at anyway. Interesting, isn't it? If you zoom in a bit more, you get to see this projected glide path distance. Okay, we're also running Navigraph in the background, and it's not tracking us, so it's just updated. Look, interesting. So we're off towards KORS, otherwise known as Orcas Island. So we can go and turn those landing lights and taxi lights off now. It's going to be a fun flight today. Maybe not if we have to go through that though, hey? So we'll head this side of the hill and double back. Which way was the wind? Coming from 180, so yeah, that makes sense then. So we'll come round, approach from the north, and then carry on south down to Anacortes. Good, okay. That all makes sense. So we'll hopefully go straight through this shallow in the hill here, and then head right. A message. Airspace entry, less than 10 minutes. Okay, let's drop down to 1,000 feet. How are we doing with the RPM? Yeah, it's okay. So there's Anacortes just over there in the shallow. You can't quite see it from here. If you zoom in on the map, you can see it. So we're perpendicular with it at the moment. We'll turn degrees in a few moments. So runway direction at Orcas is, can we get an exact 164 degrees? So we can put the course to 164 to give us a visual reference. He says as he can't get the mouse to land on the blooming thing. And we have got a massive cloud bank right in front of us. Let's just do this by hand, it's a lot easier. So we'll drop down to 500 as we turn and come around to 90 degrees to the approach. It has to be behind the pillar. It's over there. I'm staying higher than I said. We've got quite a long run in, so so get out. Landing lights on. Oops. If I can get them to switch on. Still at 800 feet, which is fine.
$500.
Okay, so we can down to the pappies and they're saying we are too low, so we'll correct for that. Throw some flaps out as well now. We have 1 white light, 3 reds. It's quite a steep approach then, isn't it? 2. Oh no, we've gone just too low again. They've modelled the boats over there really nicely, haven't they? Whoa, he says as a blast of crosswind starts to throw us across the runway. Good job we're only doing a touch and go, isn't it? So gear back up. holding about 80 knots on the climb out or thereabouts, so could go steeper if I wanted to. Okay. Landing lights can come off. And we'll head towards the next destination. So that was Orcas that we've just visited. Now it's off to Anacortes. So I think we'll go round the headland rather than over the top, because that will probably take us into the cloud. Although I think it's going to be pretty abysmal once we get to the other side. So a friend is watching. Tell him to bite the bullet and get Flight Simulator. It's very good. I mean, look. Look at the weather modelling. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Turbulence has started to throw us around. This might be quite hairy. Good job we got GPS then at the end of the day, isn't it? Not the most ideal visibility ever.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain
It's detecting
ahead.
this. That's very cool. So, into the rainstorm. Hopefully come out the other side very soon. So we can use obviously our attitude indicator and the GPS to help us out here, rather than go purely on vision. We can just use the instruments because that's what they're designed for. We're losing altitude, so we get some lights on internally. This is a bit dark in here, isn't it? In fact, I'm going to go and put those landing lights on outside. I want as much light on us as possible in these conditions. You can see that the glow of that landing light off the front of the aeroplane. So we turn right slightly. We should be able to put the autopilot on and go to nav mode. I think we're close enough. Yeah, we are. Look, it's turning in towards it. So we're holding at, well, it's saying 1,000. We'll go up to 2,000 just to give us some safety over these hills, and climb at 500 feet a minute. We're going very fast, so let's cut that back. Well, this is fun. So let's have a look at the next airfield. We may not be able to land here. We may have to overfly if the weather is still this bad. I mean, okay, it's still about 8 miles away, but unless it clears, our chances of doing a... We haven't got a KNX80, have we? Otherwise we could have done a precision approach. No. This weather's horrific, isn't it? Absolutely tipping down with rain. What about if we can jump over to the co-pilot's side? You can just about see the ground. So we got 1 minute 40 until we reach the next airport. So what we're going to do is go to heading mode. Yeah, we're going to turn out east. And then follow the line here. This is the line of the runway. So we're just giving ourselves an approach of sorts. We might be able to see it. So let's go straighten the view up. Taking the autopilot off. Let's put the course round to match the runway direction relative to us. Let's lose some altitude. I'm gonna overfly. Oh, we have got visibility. A little bit now and again. So I'm going to turn left just to lose some height. I'm going to circle as we descend and to get the speed under control. Just in case we can do an approach. Yeah, this is really a pain in the backside. Look, it's auto-zooming. Thinks because we've turned away from the airport that we're not wanting to go there. You can turn that behaviour off. It's gone on to the next leg automatically. Coming down to about 800 feet. I'll hold it out at 800 feet. So we're lining up on the runway. So I've got the angle slightly wrong on the course.
500.
That's 500 over the hill, by the way. So the runway should be somewhere straight in front of us. We can see some lights out there. Hold it at 500 feet. There it is. You can see it. Gear is down, flaps are down. There's quite a lot of turbulence coming up over these trees. Whoa, look, that's being kicked around. They're being pushed to the right. We're not supposed to touch down until the marker's here. Whoa, there's gusts in all directions. That's funny. It's obviously the storm, isn't it? We're down. Okay, left turn. And look, it's nice and clear this side. Or clearer. So right to 1,000 feet. Continue climbing. So we've got 5 minutes until the next airport. Hopefully we come out the other side of this rain at some point. So we're coming up for 1,500 feet, so let's get the autopilot on. We'll go for heading mode. And altitude, we'll go for, must be interesting, 2,500 feet at 500 feet a minute. And it should hold that quite nicely. So let's just go and have a look outside. What a lovely day to go sightseeing, hey? How are we doing? Zoom out. So you can see the next one coming. Wind is from the south. Oh my word, the wind really has got up. Doesn't really favour either runway here. Gear down. Look at the crab angle we're having to put in. That's crazy. So what we'll do is the old trick of holding the nose runway direction and side slipping left and right to translate ourselves left and right across the runway. So I'm skidding the aeroplane through the air essentially. So we're a bit high. I'm just looking at the lights there.
500.
There we go. Red and white lights alongside the runway, meaning we're on the correct glide path. 2 reds and you're too low, 2 whites you're too high. Holding about 30% rudder on the way down here. Up. May as well just hand flow this next leg. Although I was saying that, it's quite a long way actually. It's 25 miles. It's just... we're going the right direction already, so let's go. It's on and go nav mode. And arm the altitude at 25,000 feet, and then say we want to get there at, say, 500 feet a minute. So let it climb a little way along the way. Give it a bit more power for climbing. And let's go and zoom in on this and see what it tells us today. In this iteration of GPS. Essentially what you're seeing here with the TDS 750, or sorry, TDN GTNXi is it called? Or XI? It is the Garmin software running within Flight Simulator. That's why it looks so realistic. It isn't, you know, a copy of it, it is the Garmin. And what they've done is interfaced it with Navigraph. So for example, we're just heading off towards Concrete Municipal. So if we go into where is it? Charts. Yeah, we don't want the destination, we want concrete. What was it? 3W5. Wonder if it's got any for it. 3W5. Enter. No information available. What a surprise. If we had put in one of the others, like Orcas, KORS, let's try that. Yeah, there you go. So you can put up the charts now. It's quite cool, isn't it? Obviously you can... It's a bit kind of squashed to see it on this little screen, but it's better than nothing. And it's a lot better than it was. And obviously the nav data showing on the map is the Navigraph nav data. We ought to look where we're going with this weather being the way it is. So just reading the live stream comments down there. Yep, this is cheating, isn't it? Doing this with a GPS, but then I don't know the area. Marginal VFR, well, it's not really at all, is it? It's you wouldn't really be flying like this in the real world in this sort of weather. This would be you'd need a good talking to probably. If you didn't know the area backwards. So 2,500 feet. Let's go and spin the course round so it agrees with the actual direction we're going, just to make it a little bit more sense. 7 minutes till the next en route waypoint. where this is quite nice, it will, as you heard it do earlier, if we get too close to a hillside, it will start complaining at us. Have we got any longer legs? Oh yeah, look, we got a 64-mile leg. I'll go and make a cup of coffee at that point. I'll take us up above the hills. Have we got the plot? Yes, we have. So we need to get up to 10,000 feet, or 9,000 by the look of it, to clear the hills when we come out of 3W5. So we'll climb up to 9,000 after doing the next touch and go. That might even take us above the cloud, you know. So yes, this is, just looking at live stream comments, this is the GTN Pro with the Navigraph integration. It works really, really nicely. So obviously the nav data you're seeing is coming straight out of Navigraph in terms of waypoints. But also, yeah, all of the data to do with, well, you can get waypoint information, for example. So let's see what it's got on, obviously this is showing the destination of our final airport. 3W5, I don't know if it has much on smaller airports, to be honest. Concrete, 267 feet elevation, so it's got basics, what fuel they've got, but there's no charts for this airport we're going to. I don't think the weather data works in it, because in the real unit you'd have a subscription to a weather service. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? There's a whole world of stuff in here that I really haven't touched even yet. We've got traffic displays. Now there's a hill coming. Are we going to get a warning? Let's see if the warning goes off. If I leave it on this track, this will be fascinating to see if it... Because what it's doing is detecting, look, what's in our direct glide path. That's what this shaded area is. So it should start shouting at us anytime soon. So if we go heading mode already.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Very cool.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
It's interesting that it wants us to pull up rather than turn. Very good.
Terrain ahead.
It's still complaining about it. It's just a bit too close for comfort, isn't it? Very cool. Yes, I know, I spotted it has music. I haven't put any music into it. I'm guessing there's a folder somewhere you can throw some MP3s or something. Because in the real unit it would be Sirius radio. Was it XM? Sirius XM? I can't remember the name of it. There's various radio stations, isn't there? Should we lean this out a bit? Save some fuel. So we're at 2,500 feet. We're not far away from having to lean it out anyway. Yeah, just while we're chugging along here, what we're talking about in terms of music, if you go back into the menu, you can go to services, and it's actually got a music system, so I'm guessing, yeah, you put some MP3s in a folder somewhere and you can play them, which is quite funny. Obviously you can do chart lookups as we saw earlier. sure how the terrain... Okay, terrain just shows you the immediate threats. So if you were flying completely, you know, zero visibility, that's going to give you your channel through the hills, which is quite cool. That was half the reasoning for coming this route today, was to try that out. And the weather has played ball with us nicely to give us some horrendous conditions to make it, you know, a practical demonstration. So we can see the next airfield coming. We're about a minute and a half away. Looks like it's straight in. So we'll start descending soon. Oh, is this it just here? Which way's the wind? So it's going to be a crosswind no matter what we do. So let's just side slip
Sink
it to...
rate. Sink rate.
This airplane doesn't side slip very much, does it? Yeah, there's no way we're going to get down there in time. So what we'll do is fly around the river, come in the other end for our touch and go. There's a crosswind anyway, so it's not going to hurt. So we've already got the landing lights on. We need to open the cowl flaps ready for landing. Propellers on max RPM. Right, let's cut the approach short, which isn't the best idea with a crosswind, because ideally you want to stabilise it on the way in, but
$500. Pull up. Pull up.
okay. Let's do an about turn now. But we need to be mindful of the hills nearby, so we'll keep climbing for a few moments. We should be looking for about 80 knots climb rate normally. Or whatever the climb rate is at 80 knots. It looks like we're just turning downwind, aren't we? The wind was coming from the west, I seem to remember. Wasn't it? So from the north. Okay, so here we go, the long climb. So we just get the aircraft stabilised. And nav mode. And set the target altitude. So we said 9,000, didn't we? I'll check it in a moment. Oh, what's it doing? Right, let's see what we can get away with. So, cowl flaps can be closed. Double check the gear and the flaps. It's a great big mountain in the way, so we're not going to be following the nav track, we're going to be going around it. So, heading mode. We'll just go to one side of that mountain as we climb. Got about half an hour on this leg. Okay. So Brad Woods is asking what's the closest city. I'll show you on the map. We've just left Concrete Municipal, 3 Whiskey 5 on the map. Just north of Darrington. We're about to go over the Cascades, basically. Mount Baker is over to the north of us. Olympia's back over there, isn't it? Yeah. We're just avoiding a sodding great mountain. It's just here as we climb. I'm trying to get to 9,000 feet to avoid too many of these hills. We should be able to get above the cloud, and that would look quite pretty, wouldn't it? If we can see the tops of the mountains in the clouds. So we're just coming up to 5,000 feet. We've got lots of room to climb. Should we zoom in a bit? Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, we'll go a little bit way further out over the plain here, or the valley floor, and then we'll turn along the valley for the rest of our climb. Hopefully that will help us, give us some room, because we could continue all the way down here. Look, I guess we could look at the chart and figure out, if push comes to shove, we could continue all the way down. But we have got quite a long run. If we went along here, yeah, we'll do that. So let's start turning. And we could put this on terrain mode as well, couldn't we? Which would help a small amount. Yeah, we are climbing above it, look. Otherwise it would be showing up. So can we show terrain on here as well? I'll leave it on and see what happens. So we're coming up to 7.5. So it looks like we need to go up that valley over there. Or is it? No, I think it's behind here, isn't it? Oh, we'll see. We'll find out when we get there. So once we get to the end of here, okay, we want to go right. So down here and follow the valley round. Now there's a screenshot. Just coming up to 9,000 feet. So, if we go back to nav mode now, we probably have to spin this back around to get it to capture the track point. The general direction of the track was 79 degrees, so let's get that on our course. So that's there. 79. So we're now on an intercept course with the GPS track. So this seems to think if we are on the track we should be fine at this altitude. Obviously we're not quite on the track, so let's get back onto it. Zoom out a bit so we can see the wider story. It's not going to be straightforward, is it? We really are threading a needle. Just don't look down, hey? It's a long way down now. And here was me entertaining thoughts of going and making a coffee. It looks a bit too dangerous out here to go making a coffee and let the aeroplane take care of itself. So if I press nav, do we trust it to put the aeroplane through this narrow window? Do we give it... I'm going to give it a few more 1,000 feet, you know. I don't trust this. Where did all the snow come from? Hey, there's 10,000 feet just gone through. Do you know, I think 11 will probably be enough. There we go, just approaching 11,000 feet. Autopilot's winding out the vertical speed. We were losing speed then actually. We're getting quite high for this aeroplane. Let's lean it out a bit more. We got some cabin heating in this thing. I'm not sure that we have. It's just going to be damn cold for the pilot, isn't it? Unless it's hidden over here. Aha! Cabin heat, pull on. Cabin air, pull on. Right, skim across the top of the hills. So we've got about 12 minutes until we get there. So I'm going to put this on the outside view for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go and make a drink. So I'll turn the head tracking off for a bit. Window, open window layout, minimal. Okay. I'll go and hide the taskbar as well. There we go. Oops, let's put that on there, don't I? Right, I'm going to go make a drink. I'll be back in a few minutes. Right, I'm back. So we've got about 10 miles to go, and we've got a lot of height to lose. So we'll come off the autopilot. Actually, we could do this on the autopilot, couldn't we? This is me being lazy now. So we'll come back down to what's the altitude of the airport. 1700, so if we come down to 4000 and do it at a rate of, oh, I've done the wrong knob again, 4000 at 1000 feet a minute. I can actually have a sip of my coffee while we are descending. Hi Jacob. So, let's have a look at the airfield. So, winds from 13, so we're going to circle around the airfield, come in runway 31. To do our touch and go. And then we're going to hop across the hills, probably follow this road actually. Round to Okanogan, is that Legion? So you can see the airfield in the middle of the floodplain here. This is automatically zooming. It's quite a cool feature, isn't it, that it can automatically zoom. So what we could do is fly, we could do a left circuit. There's lots of room out this side. So if we go and turn heading mode to the right sort of angle, so we actually want the heading to be 132. So we're flying the reciprocal of the runway direction, and then we'll square it off and come in for the approach. Jim says hello. Hi Jim. Let's turn the head tracking back on. There's the airfield down there. Going very fast at the moment. So I come off the autopilot. Pull the nose up a little bit, just remove some of this descent rate. It's not a dive into the ground competition. So we know the runway is the opposite direction of 132, don't we? So we can use that as a reference for the HSI, which will give us a nice visual reference for the turn-in. That's just me pulling the throttle back too far that's making it beep. I'm wanting to lose some speed. There's the runway. Let's get our gear down. Landing lights on. Cowl flaps open. We need to richen the mixture back up because we're descending, obviously. What are we down to now? 3,000 feet, yeah. So we can go probably back to a fully rich mixture because we'll be back.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Yeah, I know. I can see it.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
That's called the
Terrain
ground.
ahead. Pull up.
We're not losing speed very quickly, are we?
500.
So I'm hanging on the flap lever, waiting for the speed to come off. Okay, seeing as there's hills tight to this side, I'm going to circle round over the left side of the valley. So do like a 250-degree turn, basically. Okay, so is there a way where we said there was a road, didn't we? Can we see where the road goes? Let's have a look at the map. Or maybe there wasn't a road. Ah, the road's further south. Okay, let's go further south then. We'll ignore the GPS for a few minutes. So if we zoom in on this, has this got? Oh yes, got the road on it. That's quite cool. Or is that just the river? I mean, we're high enough. We could cut across these headlands, couldn't we? It's not going to be that dangerous. GPS, so we have to go across those hills as well by the look of it. But we could aim for where the road ends up going over there, I guess. So Andy's asking what hardware I've got. I've got the Thrustmaster Airbus throttle and stick. That's all I've got. I have got a Stream Deck, is that what they're called? But I don't use it for flying, I use it for other things. Okay, so we need to lean the mixture out because we're getting quite high again. Go for the valley side through here. It's not quite as high. Bit of an easier route. Just hand fly it. Yeah, I used to use a Thrustmaster HOTAS. Is it called T-HOTAS X or something? That's what I first started out with, and then I was actually bought an Airbus stick for my birthday about 3 years ago.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
It's very cool, isn't it?
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull.
Does she get higher and higher pitch the closer you get to the hill? Should we make her have a heart attack on purpose? Let's go and pull towards this hill and see what happens.
Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
No, she doesn't get higher and higher pitched. That would be quite comical, wouldn't it?
Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
It is funny how she gets higher pitched. It varies pitch, doesn't it?
Pull up.
That's quite cool that it does that.
Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
The quality of the map on this, though, is brilliant.
Terrain ahead.
Yes,
Terrain
I
ahead.
know. I
Pull
can
up.
see it.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Right, we're
Terrain
starting to
ahead.
ice up.
Pull up. Terrain
I'm not
ahead.
sure we have icing
Pull up.
controls in the 182,
Terrain
do we?
ahead. Pull up.
This is going to become a
Terrain
problem.
ahead.
Do we have defrost? I think I've already done it. Yes, it's worked. It's defrosted the window. So we should be going more that direction, but that means going straight over the top of this hill. It is still icing up though, isn't it? It doesn't like it. This could become deadly very quickly. So we can have a look. Rotate it. That way is open. Okay. Yeah, 182 really isn't suited to this part of the world at all. Or, you know, the stock version anyway. If you had one retrofitted with some anti-icing kit, it probably might be a much better idea. Unless there's something I'm missing in the cockpit to deal with it.
Sync rate. Pull up. Pull up.
So runway
Pull
22 at Okanogan.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
We're icing up quite spectacularly, I should say. This does not bode well, especially as we are heading north. Do you know, I might go and change aeroplanes for something that can deal with it. Because this is only going to get worse. Unless we change plans and head south instead. Because we haven't even started heading north yet. It's a problem, isn't it? If we were to head south, do we just follow down through the Cascades, down towards... I don't know.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Yes, I know.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Yes, I know.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain
It's very
ahead.
insistent, isn't
Pull
it?
up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Should we
Terrain
let her
ahead.
have her wish? So we want to go past the airfield and turn back because we want runway 22. We should have closed the cow flaps some time ago and forgot all about it. Thawing out, which is good. Okay, so let's turn to the reciprocal of 22, which will be 40 degrees. Should see the airfield over there, and we can. Start losing some speed. See the speed coming off over there. Rainbow. More rain. Another terrible approach. Questionable visibility. Gear down. Landing light's already on.
500.
Okay. Right turn. Let's see how we get on with icing. If this aircraft does freeze up too much, then we'll have to call it for the day and do it another day with a different aeroplane, I think. We're coming up for 2,000. Let's go for 3,000 feet then, for the moment. And admire the scenery as we go by. Let's turn the landing lights off. Although it might be an idea to have them on in these conditions, actually saying that. So we've got just under 10 minutes until the next airfield, so let's go and have a look. Have a look at it on LittleNavMap. Tonasket Municipal. I guess if we stay low, we may not freeze up, but we'll. This is what worries me: is this wind, wind and rain could very quickly turn this into a flying snowball. Let's keep low. Let's go for altitude hold at the altitude we're at. Maybe ask it to come back down to 2,000. If we stay low, then we've got half a chance of not freezing up. Well, not too badly. So what's this airfield we're just passing here then? OMAC. So some hand flying coming up a little bit. unless we just use heading mode and steer it with the heading bug. It's not very good at following the heading bug, is it? Oh, have we got drift? Yes, we had drift on the HSI. That's what was going on. The gyro had drifted. Yeah, zoom in.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Here we go again.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I guess it's good that it does it. It's just rather annoying. How do you turn it off? Let's go and look in system.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Okay, maybe we won't fiddle with it while we're flying. I'll do it for another
Terrain
video
ahead.
when we look in detail at how this thing works. But I need to learn that myself first.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain
Oh,
ahead.
dear.
Pull up.
It's
Terrain
supremely
ahead.
annoying, isn't it?
Terrain ahead.
We're nearly at the next airfield.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Nowhere near it.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
It's got
Terrain
amusing,
ahead.
really.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Oh, it's frustrating, isn't it? Okay, let's see how we turn it off. Menu. If we turn terrain off, will that just turn the warnings off completely? Maybe it will. Okay, so what's the wind doing at the next airfield? Tonasket Municipal. No knots of wind. We can go straight in runway 33.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
I spoke too soon. So, get down. Open the cow flaps. Rich mixture, full propeller speed, and use the power to control airspeed. The weather actually looks to be clearing a little, doesn't it? or at least in this little area. Assuming that's the airfield over there. So, you know, I might call it a day at this airport because I'm getting tired anyway, and this was quite a long flight, so we'll complete it another day and complete the trip from here up to Golden. Are we actually in Canada yet? No, not quite. So gear is already down. We've got reds and whites, we're on the right glide slope already. We've got VASI lights here.
$500.
Okay, we don't want fuel. What can we think of that we're going to miss? Turn the lights back off. Turn the avionics back off. There we go. And can we open the door on this one? I think we can, can't we? There we go. Can we do this side as well? Yes, we can. It's nice out there, isn't it? Right, I'm going to leave it there for the moment, and I'm going to go and have a chill out and have a read about this TDS GPS system and see what its capabilities are and what's in all of the menus. Because obviously there's an awful lot to learn with it. We only really just scratched the surface on it today. So yeah, it's absolutely transformed it. It's now the best GPS in flight sim by miles, because it is the Garmin one, but it's got the Navigraph data in it now. So it's become absolutely brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care.